introduction, and hi to everyone, those who I know and who I don't know yet. So I am going to help you to understand Facebook ads. What am I doing wrong? And I'm going to give you the update about what you need to know about Facebook because they just changed their algorithm again. So I'm going to help you kind of get ahead of the curve a little bit. So you're going to want to take notes because I don't have slides, but I will be showing, and I'm jam packing this in for you guys because I'm going to be showing you some information that a lot of people don't know about. All right, cool. So show of hands, and I like to be interactive, so you got to engage with me. I see everybody's faces. I'm watching all of you, and those who don't think I'm watching, I'm watching. Those of you that have a like page, thumbs up if you have a like page. I just want to see who has. Okay. So for those of you that have a like page right now, you're definitely going to want to pay attention, okay? So first, let's go over kind of the understanding about how Facebook scores your page so you understand how it works, okay? So Facebook, when they first got started back in the day, they created something called EdgeRank. And EdgeRank is their algorithm, right? It's kind of their like AI algorithm that defines how they show content, because when they first got started, anyone you were connected to, your feed would just be filled with all of the content, right? But with over 1,500 posts like an hour, that's way too much, right? And now it's even more than that, depending on how many friends you have. So what they did is they created this algorithm that picks and chooses what it shows you depending on your engagement with the people that you're connected to. And that's called EdgeRank. And so I'm just going to read a little bit of information. So EdgeRank is the name commonly given to the algorithm Facebook uses to determine what articles should be displayed in a user's feed. But they switched in 2011 and they use a system learning algorithm now. So it's still kind of like EdgeRank, but it's better because now it takes more than 100,000 factors into consideration when it is displaying the information. So that's just so that you understand how it works, okay? So they're constantly making adjustments, and you can actually, and I guarantee you should do this, you can actually follow the updates to the newsfeed algorithm. They have a blog series called Newsfeed FYI series, and you can follow the changes to that because it's going to affect the ads you run and how you display information, how people see it, okay? So what does that mean for me? How has Facebook changed what I see right now? Okay, so what they did is they kind of looked at a combination of things, but it says here that, through their research, they found out that people reported having better newsfeed experience when the stories they see at the top or stories they both are likely to rate high, right, that they like, and also that they engage with. So stuff that you're liking and then you're also commenting on, right, and you're sharing, they're scoring that. And we all kind of know that, okay, if I'm engaging with it, we're going to see that content, okay? But also, now it has to do with what's trending. So now if you're actually using pop culture and trending things that are going on, and you're hashtagging that, and you're putting that in your posts, that's actually going to bump you up, and people are going to be able to interact with you a little bit more. So staying very relevant and using trending topics that they're either talking about or that are trending right now. A lot of you should be following Google Trends. If you're not following that, definitely follow that so that you can kind of stay up on what's current. And, most of us either read some kind of news articles or we get some kind of feed or we go on Google or we're going on, whatever our homepage is set to. Mine is set to Yahoo. And we kind of see what's going on. But trending topics. So for example, if you and your friends are posting about the Dallas Cowboys game on TV, you're more likely to see posts in your newsfeed that are trending topics. So if you're already talking about it, maybe you're not hashtagging it, but just the simple word of you. And I think some of you have probably seen this, right? All of a sudden you're talking about a football game and then you're seeing all these posts that have to do with it. So now you got to actually use that to your advantage. How can you talk about things that are current so that they come up in your feed or so that you come up in people's feed, but also work for your business? So now you got to start thinking in the terms of that, okay? The next thing is the change considers when people like or comment. So now it's the timing. The timing that somebody likes or comments, interacts, and shares with your content, with your posts, actually determine how often and how much you come up in somebody's feed. So for instance, you post something and all of a sudden a lot of people comment all at once. Facebook sees that, evaluates that, and say, oh, they're commenting now, but maybe they're not likely to comment later, so they'll push it down, right? So you need to know that. So it says here, currently one of the signals we look at is the total number of likes that a post has received when determining how high up to show it in the news feed. With this update, we're going to begin looking at when people are choosing to like, comment, and share. So now you have to consider that also. So if you're getting a lot of engagement, instead of getting it over, a long period of time, that also determines how you're popping up in somebody's new feed. So if people are engaging with the post right after it's posted and not as much as a few hours later, this suggests that a post was most interesting at the time it was posted, but potentially less interesting at a later date. Based on this signal, it is more likely to appear higher in the newsfeed earlier on and lower at a later date. So for those of you, if you're getting a really hot post and they're engaging, understand that maybe later on you're not going to see that same thing. So you might actually have to, as a team, and this is something I do in my team, we actually help bump each other's feeds up, because we'll go back and say, hey, can you go in and engage a little bit with my post, especially if it's something you want people to see. So as a strategy, you guys as a team can kind of help each other, bump up your engagement factor a little bit by just going back and interacting with a post, okay? So how does it affect your business page or your like page, okay? So if a page posts about a trending topic, or if a post sees high velocity of engagement early on, then drops off, that post may begin to see decreased distribution, okay? So they're doing the same thing with your pages. Early on and less distribution over time. Pages should keep producing great content that is relevant and resonates with their audience. So one of the things to understand about like pages is you can train Facebook to show content the way that you need it to show. So I'm going to show you in a little bit about my like page, what I'm doing with it, and also how I'm training Facebook to organically show my content so I don't always have to pay for ads, because we don't want to have to always, we want organic. We want people coming to us organically, okay? But one of the things to understand about your page posts is that you can train Facebook by testing out certain posts. So for instance, for me, videos do really well on my page, because for some reason, and not really for some reason, but I started to pay attention more to what people were engaging with. So I started posting more videos. And then I started really kind of tailoring that down to the type of videos I was posting. And so what ended up happening is when I show like entertaining videos or funny workouts or those workout class videos with crazy things that they're doing, like a lot of people engage with that. So Facebook now kind of trusts me a little bit to show great content, so they boost things up. So now I can get 7,000 or 8,000 views on a video. I can get a lot of 300-400 comments and 300-400 likes and like 20 or 50 comments on a post, because they know that I give out great content. So it's the same thing when you think about your like page. You have to start testing and being very consistent with the style of posts that you're putting out there to train Facebook. And if you're seeing that you're not getting high engagement, then that also tells you, number one, you either have to start boosting some things, or number two, you have to change your strategy, your voice, how you post. You may have to, like I said, as a team, start helping each other get your engagement factor up, so you guys start interacting with the content on your pages and posing as customers or posing as people interested. Maybe you guys can come up with your own little social media teams that you help promote each other. Do what you got to do, but these are the things that you're going to have to start considering, okay? So it says here that, so when you advertise, Facebook rates your ads among other similar ads in your page category. So that's another thing to understand. So it's important that you try to create the best and relevant content so that you get a good score if you're doing advertising, right? You want a really good score. And I'll show you what that means. So you have to think about it. Nowadays, because there are so many Beachbody coaches advertising on Facebook, if you don't have some sort of a niche that distinguishes you from another coach, it's going to be very hard for you to have kind of a footing. Like, honestly, there's a lot of people on Facebook, and this is really where people are. This is a home base for you to grow your business because the most amount of people are on Facebook. But at the same time, the most amount of people are on Facebook and the most amount of coaches are on Facebook. So you have to start working against that and really defining who you are. So if you have interests, start to really put your interests into your business. You know, my niche is bride because I was getting married and I wanted to lose weight. So I combined those two things together and came up with Become the Bride. And it is a brand. It is a brand that I own now. And I'm actually foreseeing it past Beachbody. I'm growing it beyond that. But I also started it because I knew that I needed to differentiate and set myself up. So you guys have to think about how you're going to set yourself apart. And if you're a new coach and this is totally going over your head, don't worry about that. Because when you finally get your footing and you come back and you watch this, you're going to be like, oh, I get it now. It's cool. So just think about those things, okay? All right. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, don't get penalized by Facebook. Don't get put in Facebook jail by posting too many offers and always shoving challenge groups and free groups and offer down people's throats. You can actually damage your score with your like page and also your timeline. You'll start to get less of your content being shown to your friends if you're constantly posting about and some kind of an offer or sale or something, okay? So based on the results from a massive survey, Facebook found that users were getting annoyed with pages that only seemed to promote their own products or services. Posts that solely pushed people to a product, asked people to enter promotions, or reuse the same exact content from ads saw a huge decrease in their organic reach. So they can actually score you negatively, and you don't want that, okay? So I follow a rule called, and basically it's three things. Number one, entertain. Number two, inform. Number three, market. Whenever I organize my content to post on social media, no matter where it is, doesn't matter if it's Facebook or anywhere else, that is my hierarchy. Entertain, inform, and market. Marketing is your offer, your sale, your join this, okay? It is the last thing that I talk about, right? And I know for some of you, you're like, well, how are you supposed to get people to want to do what you're doing? Because I have a high amount of engagement with entertaining posts and informational value-added content. The last thing that I add is anything that has to do with an offer. And it's really maybe once a week or maybe once or twice every 2 weeks that I really talk about, like, join, do this, you know, win this or whatever. I don't do that very often, because I understand that I get more engagement by just organically sharing things that provide value to my people and that entertain them, because that's what people are on social media for. They're not trying to get advertised to all day, okay? So you want to definitely, there's a couple things that you want to do. So you want to keep an eye on your audience, like start to understand who's paying attention to your page. So I'm going to actually go and share my screen, because now we are getting into, okay, thumbs up if you can see my screen. Yes, good. All right, awesome. Okay, so I got two screens here. So if I'm not looking here, it's because I'm looking at my other screen. So just know that. Okay, so this is the analytics of my page. I'll go. So this is my page, Become the Bride. It has right now, oh, I already have that. Yeah. Right now, it's at 21,142 likes. And I was able to grow this page to this amount, mostly through advertising. Over the course of about 2 years, I've spent about $4,000 in ads. So I know that number sounds big, but that's spread out. You know, sometimes I'm spending $5, sometimes I'm spending $10, sometimes I'm spending a little bit more. It all depends on my budget in the month, but I've, you know, basically grown it by just spreading out money here and there. And so, you know, I have my own little infomercial. We'll just go over some best practices. So number one, I have a logo. One of the things that you can do, you can have a logo or you can have a picture of your face, but not both, and not text. I really don't even like to do before and after photos because it's really small. But if you're gonna have a like page, one or the other, but not both. They tend to do better when you run ads. And then I have like a fun little engaging picture. Notice when I hover over it, it has some information about what you can do. Right now, I am promoting just a free general group for all brides, and they can get the information when they click on it here, and they can join directly. And I have a little commercial that plays on my like page, but you know, and I have different things that are going on. And see, look, this is my coaching thing, but if I scroll down, you won't really see much about an offer other than my free group, which is part of my photo. This is really funny. This did pretty good, 7,800. But yeah, so different things going on with my page. All right, so let's talk about the analytics a little bit. So one of the things that you want to pay attention to when you first are trying to learn, and this is for somebody, you really have to have a page up and running for like 30 days to get really good analytics, okay? So if you just started a like page, you're not really gonna have good analytics. So you're gonna come over here to posts, okay? And you're gonna see this whale thing. Mine looks like a whale, yours may be something different. And basically what this is it's telling you when the most amount of your likes, your fans, are online at any given time. And so for me, I know that at 9 o'clock, I have the most amount of people online. So for me, it used to be 8, it actually changed to 9. And so what I do is when I schedule the post that I want, I basically just take my highest peaks. So it was 8, so it'll be 9 now. I post right around like when people get out of work around 6 o'clock. I post around like 10 and then around 8 in the morning. So I post about 4 times a day. And then if you come up to the top here, it says Sunday through Saturday. It tells me what day of the week I have the most amount of people. So it looks like right now, Friday. So Friday at 9 o'clock, I know right now I have the most amount of people. So if I want to engage and put my best stuff out there, I know that's the time of day that I want to put it on there. Okay, so that's just so that you know when your fans are on. So you're going to come down here to all published posts or post published, and you're going to click on reach. And when you click on reach, it's going to organize your posts by the type and then what's getting the most organic hits. It's always going to organize it. So I understand, look at my first 5, 6 type is videos. So when I said I do good on videos, I do 11,000 organic, 10,000. So I have some pretty good, and these are more recent posts that are all getting, you know, multiple thousands of hits. And then you'll come down here and you'll see things that I've boosted. But I really don't, you know, I try to boost things that more organically are doing well. So you'll see here I boosted this here and it was $15.99 additional. Here this was doing good. I got an additional 3,000, so this did pretty good. And by boost, I mean I'm only paying like $5. I'm not really paying a lot of money, like a $5 boost to get some extra engagement here. Another thing that you want to pay attention to is engagement, because even though organically you may be getting a huge amount of reach, if you're not getting engagement on your posts, then that matters also. So you want to take a look, like here, I had about 1,300 post clicks, 381 reactions. So it's a combination of comments, likes, and shares. So I'm starting to pay attention to how many people are actually engaging with my content. That actually matters too. So I'm going to take a look at these. So this helps you narrow down even more. So even though I have all these videos here and have all this reach and it's showing me, I'm seeing what more people are engaging with. So I'm going to post more things that have to do with that. So for instance, if I click on here, this is that funky, you know, those kangaroo shoes. So like I said, exercise classes do really well. People like that. And then we'll come over here, boom. So this was like, there we go. People are bouncing around. But you'll see here, and so if you're clicking on you click on that post, I'll go back again so you guys see. If you click here, it shows you your audience retention, right? So this is something I'm just starting to pay attention. This basically tells you how long somebody watches the video for. That's also, this is new. This wasn't always here. But the average is like a couple seconds, maybe a minute at the most. People are watching it before they click away. But if you come over to posts, they'll see your whole ad here, but then you'll also see your engagement. So this one did pretty good. I had a lot of video views, but I had a lot of reactions, and that's what I want. Only 5 people hit it. Sad. Womp womp. They didn't like it, but that's okay. So that should just tell you a little bit about what you should pay attention to, okay? And then another one that I posted was this one. This is basically about a relationship. I know it looks really provocative, but it was about a relationship, like, you know, when you first start a relationship and then towards the end. This one did really good too. So I don't always post things that have to do with just health and fitness. Like I said, if my hierarchy is entertain, inform, market, I'm going to post about relationships. I'm going to post about related content, but not always just the same regurgitated health and fitness. So you have to start thinking outside the box to related content that has to do with your niche or your page also, and post that information too. All right, so you guys will be able to do that. So if I go to overview, one of the important things to do, so you'll start to see what your reach is for the week, if you're up or down. This one, I mean, over time, you'll be able to start seeing what's trending for you and what's doing well. But one of the things that you should do is look at other pages. So I actually follow these pages that are related to my brand, okay? And I like to see what they're doing, because I want to know how I'm competing against the market. I want to know, like, am I really not posting enough? What are other pages in engagement? What are they getting? So you'll see they have millions of followers. I didn't post much, so I didn't see much of a change because we just got back from vacation. So I wasn't really keeping up with it too much. So I didn't see that much change. But you'll see here, they're seeing like a fraction of a percent. So if you're wondering how you're doing with brands that have millions of dollars in advertising budgets and you're worried, don't worry. This will help you to know how you're doing against other budgets that are higher than yours, really. And you'll see here that, you know, Weight Watchers, they only post 21 times in a week. You would think a brand like that would be posting all the time, but they're not. And they saw 2% engagement up, right? And they only had 11,000. Whereas the Brides is posting 200 times in a week. I can't even imagine that. They have like several people managing their brands, and you see their engagement wasn't that much better than some of the other pages, even though, look at the difference in posts. So that should go to show you, like, you could post 4 times or you could post 100 times. If your content isn't good, that's really the determining factor if you're gonna really do well. It has nothing to do with the frequency of posts. It all comes down to good content, okay? So that should help you just be like feeling okay about what you're doing. Okay, so do we have any questions so far about this stuff? It's a lot of content, so I want to make sure I answer questions as we go along. Anybody out there, feel free to unmute yourself if you're like, what should I look at? None? Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. All right, so here is the ads manager. So you can if you come to the page, you go to here. This is a quick way to get to that. And you go over here. Can we still see my screen? We're good? And it brings you to this page, your ads manager. So you'll see that I've tried, and I don't know why they're not all loading, but probably because I deleted some. Yeah. I've run a lot of different ads in the last 2 years because I'm always testing the market. I'm testing to see what's working, what's not working. I'm always tweaking my ad copy and my photos to see what's going to do well. And so basically, one of the things to know about how I grew my page is I actually did a program through Facebook. They trained me on this, and they have a program. It was called Facebook Go. And I worked with Facebook in a 30-day span to really tweak and hone my ads so I could be successful. And so that's this campaign here. So this is where the bulk of my money went. My ad spend in the month was about $750. So it was $25 a day I was running my ad. It was an investment, but as you can see here, it definitely has paid off. One of the things to know about this particular page, this page has brought several coaches into my business. It's helped me to make Success Club now. I'm moving on to be a Success Club legend. It's helped me to be very, very consistent in leads and bringing people into my business because I took the time and set aside the money to invest. So for those of you that are very, very serious about having a lead stream, it's something to consider. If you're not there yet, that's okay. You can still start out with $5 here and there and kind of test the market. You don't have to spend a lot of money. But for those of you who want to be very aggressive with your like pages and grow your brand, I highly recommend getting into Facebook ads. Okay, so I'll show you my likes campaign, which is not running right now. And let's see. So this was my ad. And this is the sponsored. So it's just this, me in my wedding dress, rock the dress, like Become the Bride for tips, recipes, and motivation to get fit for your special day. Now, this is an award-winning tag right here. I'm gonna tell you right now. A huge majority of people that run like campaigns do not tell their people what to do. So if you're gonna do a likes campaign, you've gotta tell people, like this page for this. You have to tell people what they're gonna get. And this came from Facebook directly. They said, a lot of people will put, 21-day fix, or this is on sale, or follow me. No, you have to actually say, like this, because you're gonna get X, Y, Z. So they told me to put this, and the ad paid off. It did very, very well. You'll see here that this particular photo, because I had 6 different photos that I could try and test. This particular photo generated 12,000 likes alone. It reached almost 140,000 people, and it cost about 13 cents. Now, one of the things to know about costs when you start running your ads, if you start running an ad and after 24 to 48 hours, it is over 20 cents, stop the ad. It is not, you're not getting good optimization for your money. So sometimes I'll be right around 21, 22, 25. You really have to kind of play by ear at that point, but the rule of thumb is like under 20 cents, you don't. So right now, 13 cents, I've had some things that were like at 1 cent. So that was like really, really good. But if you're under 20 cents, then you're doing pretty good and you're gonna see a good return on your ad. And my relevancy score was an 8 for this one. So you get a score on each photo out of 10. Obviously, higher up is better, right? And so this ad did pretty good. And if I go back, these are some other photos that I used. So this one did okay, right? It did okay, but I didn't really let it run, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I had 6 photos that I could try. This is another one. This one did not do very well, like 78 cents. Oop, no, that's costing me money. Let's see this one. This one, okay, but still kind of high, didn't do as good. So they gave me 6 ads. When you run a likes campaign, you get up to 6 ads that you can try. This one, I didn't even run. 1 cent, I didn't even run it. And I'll tell you why. Once I saw which ad was doing the best, I turned off all the other ads and allocated all the money here. That's something that you want to do. You don't want to spread all your money over ads that are not going to do well. You're not going to see your return on investment. So when you start a likes campaign, you get 6 different photos you can try after 24 to 48 hours. And I think I actually ran this for a little bit longer. I think I ran this for about 3 days on some of them. I turned them off. So you'll see, I ended up running just this one. And so now what's cool about this is now I have a likes campaign that whenever I have the budget, I can just turn on and throw money towards it and just run it for 30 days, a week, a couple of days, and it brings and pulls in likes. So that's one of the things that if you have a like page, everybody needs a basic likes campaign that is tested and tried and true and does well, that they can just turn on and turn off, turn on, turn off, whenever they want to pull in leads to their page and pull in fans. So that's my number 1 tip that you should try to have, okay? Try to get a really good likes campaign. Number 2 is only boost things that have pretty good or organic reach. I don't recommend just starting a post and then boosting it. from just the start. I wouldn't recommend that. Another thing too is like when you finally do your marketing post and you're like trying to engage people to buy something, one of the things you want to look at is like your ad copy. And I've tried different lengths. I've tried short and I've tried long, and I'll show you the difference between the two. So let's see here, which did the best. All right. Let's see, let's organize it by reach. All right. Post engagement, let's take a look. Okay. So this one, like I said, 21 cents. I didn't cut it off. So I was running this at about $25 a day, and I'll show you the post here. And so this one had, this is like medium ad copy. It's not too long, but it's not short, obviously. And I've had longer posts. It's like medium to long. So this is one where I said, if someone paid $500 a month, to eat healthy and work out, would you do it? And then I had this, Earn While You Burn. And that's what my coach campaign is called, Earn While You Burn Challenge. So I try to promote brides to earn money for their wedding by coming on board as a coach. And so this is an external campaign. So it did pretty well, paid reach. This is about 105,000. So one of the things to know when you're running an ad, so try different lengths of copy, very simple picture. You don't want anything too complicated, not too big text, because you can only have 20% text anyway, but you don't want it too big. But one of the things that you can do is you can actually follow and interact with people in the comment section. And I highly recommend that you do that. You should definitely post like what your timeline is and encourage people to friend you. Start having conversations with people. Like I had a lot of people reply to this, and I like everybody's posts. I make sure that I engage with people that are interacting with my ad. That's really important, okay? And then everyone that shared, here's the cool thing about this. Everyone that shared, I started to go and like friend these people or message them, hey, I saw this. But what's really cool here is you click on likes. You can actually invite people to like your page. Look at that. Boom, I'm in there. And just go through. So this is another way to get likes. And these are probably new people that I missed, or maybe they clicked away. You just go in there and you just go through the whole list and invite them. And that's another really good way to pick up extra likes, okay? And so another thing too is when you're running an ad, come over here and I have it saved, but you can save the ad. And then when you type in saved, it'll actually show up on the side, but I always come here. You go to Facebook saved and it shows you all of the different ads. And you can actually, I have Stephanie saved. You can actually save other people's ads. So if you see an ad that somebody else does and it's really, kick-ass and you like it, you can save other people's stuff. It'll come right here. And if you're on your timeline, it'll be here, saved, boom, right there. So that's another thing that I highly recommend, that you just go in and save things for your own little swipe that you can test yourself. I mean, hey, art imitation is art, right? We all reuse and copy and borrow from each other, so why not? So that should help you a little bit. But as far as like using money and paying attention to all these nuances, you don't really need to do that. I mean, this is really kind of more advanced social media managing when you're getting into this type of stuff and you're really trying to optimize and go for the lowest money amount, like 1 cent, and you're not going to be there right now. All you need to really pay attention to is the easiest kind of stuff about how your ads are doing. Another cool thing though, but you can click on audience so you can start to see like where your audience for your ad is coming from. If I actually go back to my insights and I click on people, right, come down here. So this is where you can start to see where your audience comes from. So right now I have 97% of my fans are women. Probably because when I do my targeting, it's all women. I don't select men. I only select women because I'm looking for brides. So that also matters, like who you're targeting. But you'll start to see here, 25 to 34 is where most of my fans' ages are. So I try to speak in a language that would appeal to that age group. So it's really like my age group is the one that's paying attention to this page. So that's really important when you start to think about your demographic and how you're speaking to the people on your page, you want to speak to your age groups. That's really important. And I don't really pay attention to all this stuff. Unless I'm, like, if I was doing a local event, I might drill down and do like city. But other than that, you don't really have to pay attention to that stuff. Actions on page. The rest of the stuff is just things that you can learn over time. It's not anything that you have to like stay glued to. Like sometimes I come in here over to reach and I see like what's going on based on if I'm running an ad. Or like if I see certain things spike, I go back to my page and see like what did I post that day that really spiked the organic reach, and try to copy that effort. And then like I try to pay attention sometimes. I try not to pay attention too much to people who are unliking. That's really sad. Like, see, you're gonna get that. It's gonna happen. Like sometimes I come in and I'm like, people unlike me. What did I do wrong? But it's really a small amount, so don't get too depressed about it. But see, I'm not running a lot of ads here, so I'm seeing like here and there I'm getting likes, but you know, you don't have to constantly run an ad. You can kind of let it be and really work on your engagement. So when I'm not running an ad, I'm trying to increase more organic engagement when I'm not running ads. I'm really trying to focus on paying attention to my content, because when you're running an ad, you're getting a boost. So you're not really seeing a tried and true organic engagement if your page is just kind of out there. So in between running ads, you know, try to post your best stuff to see if your page stands alone, if it really stands up to what you're doing and what you're promoting. Alrighty? Okay, so I'm gonna stop this for, if I can find my little thing. Where is it? Oh, it's on the other screen. Whoop. All right, guys, questions? Who's got them? Is anyone confused? Hold on, I wanna go, did the chat, was there questions in chat? I'm sorry if I didn't see. Let's see. Can you do ads if you don't have a like page? No, you gotta have a like page. You can't run ads off your timeline. They actually did, they used to let you do that back in the day. Like a couple years ago, they let you promote certain things on your page. I think they were testing it out, but they don't let you do that. So you have to have a like page, unfortunately. And just so you know, do you wanna know how many people are actually seeing your content? It's gonna shock you. 3% of your fans. 3. It used to be 16, then it went down to 7. Now it's 3% are actually, like, when you post something, who sees it? 3%. So it's crazy. I feel like this is the new world of Facebook. It really is, because like I said, everybody's here. Everybody's here. 3 years of posting, entertain, inform, market, all the same posts or throughout the day. It's how you decide. Actually, ooh, you know what? I'm going to show you you want to see my schedule? My social media schedule that help you guys a little bit. Let me pull that up in a second. It really depends on how you want to do it. But another thing that you can use, and this is what I use for myself, is called 10-4-1. You want to write this down. 10 posts. Okay, it's 15 posts in a week total. 10-4-1. 10 plus 4 plus 1. 10 of the posts are content from outside sources, all over the internet, Facebook, wherever. 10 posts. 4 posts are original content from you, things you create yourself, 100% from you, whether it's from your blog or your page directly. 1 post is a marketing offer, giveaway, join my group, whatever. 1 post, 10-4-1. If you follow that schedule, with the hierarchy of entertaining, inform, and marketing, you will rule the day. This is how, through my content, this is how I grew Become the Bride. Because I can pay for all the likes I want. I got to keep them, right? At the end of the day, you want to keep your likes. You don't want people clicking away because your page sucks and you don't offer anything good. You want to keep them. So you have to have some kind of structure. All right, let's see if I can find my schedule. Where is it? I knew I had a screenshot somewhere. I have like a lot of scripts. I'm going through and I'm saying like, I found it. You guys are lucky. You guys are lucky. Hold on. Okay. And if you're not using Evernote, you're not doing yourself I know a lot of people use Google Docs. I'm all about Evernote. I have like 50 notebooks in there. All right, so here we go. Become the bride. See, priority, entertain, inform, market. Here is my content times. Oh, I did have 9 o'clock. I don't know why I thought I had 8. So I've taken the days of the week and I have named them, right? They have their own little thing. And then I have speckled throughout different things. Now, here's the important thing to know. So I took these categories and then I defined them a little bit more. So entertaining, these are all the types of entertaining content, right? A lot of videos. Informational, these are the types of content. And then marketing, 1 to 2 times a week only. So you'll see the different colors here and how they pertain. So this is how I post. So you see, I'm only posting 3 to 4 times a day, and even less than that because I've been on vacation, so I gotta get back to my schedule. I'm probably now only posting like twice a day. So this was like where I was, but now I'm only really posting twice a day because I don't really follow this as much because I have my schedule kind of down pat. But for those of you that are just kind of starting out, doing something like this will really help you to organize. And you can mirror this on your timeline. So you don't actually have to just use this for like one thing only and then create a separate one. Like you can use the same kind of strategy and content strategy. You just change the type of content, but you can use the same schedule for your timeline if that helps you a little bit. But yeah, this is what I follow. This is tried and true. It has helped me tremendously. So, yeah.
Some more questions. So, like it says, Lauren asked, when is a good point to start a like page?
Right now. I mean, if you're a coach, you have a story. So your like page is your story. It's kind of your first opportunity to say, hey, world, I have something to say. I have something to offer. I have something to share. So I say just go out there and do it. You don't necessarily have to start doing ads right away. I actually tell my coaches not to do that. I really like them to get a good 30 days worth of content before they even start to do advertising because they really have to get their footing. And like I said, with the analytics, it takes about 30 days to get a really good, analytics score. So I think what's best is, start it right away. You'll define it over time. If you saw some of my earlier Become the Bride posts, they were so all over the place. I was like, I had no idea what I was doing. But I defined myself over time and kind of came into a good groove. But yeah, definitely right away.
And what do you tell another, just kind of piggybacking, because it's a very similar question with Marianella. She's asking, what exactly do I need to open a like page? And would you recommend opening a like page or grow your following on your personal page first as a new coach?
I mean, you can really do it kind of simultaneously.
Right.
If you have, a really active timeline, like some people really don't have a lot of engagement already with their timeline, then that's something you need to kind of start with while you're building it. And you go back and you ask people, hey, can you show me some support? Can you show me some love? Message people. Don't just post it on your timeline and say, hey, like this. Like message people, hey, I'm sharing my story. Don't say I'm starting a business. Don't do that. Say, hey, I'm sharing my story. I could really use some support. Would you check in on my like page? Can you like this and check in with me? I could use the accountability. So you ask other people to help keep you accountable. And that's how you can get some kind of organic, friend likes, right away. Also, like I said, you guys can help each other, boost each other a little bit. I think my dog's running around here. Sorry. Yeah. Question?
Another question from Jessica. She says, do you suggest creating a theme for your page, meaning creating something specifically towards your avatar?
Yes. Yep. Definitely. But that's your niche, right? So, you create your customer avatar, and then you think about like, maybe it falls into a specific niche or maybe it's just that, yeah, totally. I say go for it. Like I said, like I was getting married. So my customer avatar is brides and it became this niche. So yeah, but think about things you're interested in, whatever interests you. It can be anything. It could be chess, sewing, knitting, bocce ball, whatever. Like you could find the fitness in the thing that you're doing. That's what you want to do.
And I think this goes along with Amanda Newson's question of like, I just created a like page today. I've been looking at your videos up on YouTube. Any tips on finding your brand? And I think, what do you have to say about that, Nina? Then I have something to say about that.
Yeah, I actually did. I did a call about, finding your niche. So like I said before, like make a list of things you're interested in, because if you're not interested in it, you're not going to post and try to like find stuff and put it together. So make a list of things you're interested in, and then narrow it down from there and say, okay, what are my top 3? Okay, what could I, then get down to the one, and then make a niche that maybe has to do with your story plus your obsession with chickens or whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, and that's going to make you stand out, because it will make you offer something that it gives you a voice to that specific niche. You're talking to that audience, right? You're not talking to everyone, you're talking to that audience. But then also it makes you stand apart because you're a coach, plus you have this cool thing you do or are interested in.
So I know Lauren says here, even if you're just a simple coach, you should start a like page. Other Beachbody videos have said, don't start your like page too early. So it's made me hesitant.
I mean, honestly, I don't see a difference because you have a profile. So if you're already showing things, starting a like page allows you to organize it in a space that's just for that.
I will say this when I want to speak to that, just because the reason why a lot of coaches will shy their newer coaches from starting a like page is because for whatever reason, not for whatever reason, but when a new coach will start their like page, they all of a sudden will abandon their personal page. And so as a result, it has told most coaches are basically telling their coaches just not to start a like page, just because they do not want you to abandon your personal page. And I think that a lot of new coaches, once they get their like page, they all of a sudden just think they need to post to their like page. And like Nina was saying, you have to grow them simultaneously. And just as you're kind of grow, because when you start, you're going to have one person following you. So you can't just all of a sudden start posting all your content to your like page and abandon your personal page. And that is what a lot of new coaches were doing. And I specifically know a lot of coaches who then were saying, well, this is what coaches are going to do. I'm going to tell them not to start a like page until they have a better following on their personal page, because they can't seem to balance the two. And so we're telling you, it's good to start your like page because it's going to take time to grow, especially if you're not doing ads. That is going to take time to grow, to like manually go through and like invite your friends, messaging your friends, hey, come and support me on my fitness journey, or come and support me in me sharing my story, come and like my page. That is going to take time to grow. And so that, I would say, Lauren, is why a lot of people were shying away from telling them, and posting on, like for me, I post literally the same content on all 3 of my platforms. So you go to my Instagram, you're going to see the same post. You go to my Facebook personal profile, you're going to see the same post. You go to my business page, you're going to see the same post. And you know what? I have a whole different set of eyes looking at each and every different platform. So don't feel like you need to come up with new content either, for all of your different platforms.
Yeah. I mean, another thing to echo that too, like understand that if you're a new coach, right, you're already good at talking on Facebook, right? Maybe you're not, that much into it, but you're a coach now. So like you kind of have to be into it, right? It's kind of like what our deal is. So think about it this way. You can actually use your like page, your profile to boost your like page. Okay. So how do you do that? Think about it this way. Start posting the most exclusive content on your like page, but then going on your timeline and saying, hey, I posted this awesome recipe. If you want to check it out, go to my like page. So now you start to grow things simultaneously because you're using one platform to grow the other, and vice versa. You start to pull in and share content from your timeline onto your like page. It all kind of works together. So like I said, you can grow them simultaneously. I think it's something that's good to do, and you can share between the two. So I think it's fine for a new coach, but you got to follow schedule. That's the missing link, because like Stephanie was saying, a lot of people are shying away from that because they weren't setting their coaches up with a schedule on how to do it in an efficient way so that they don't abandon one or the other. So, yeah.
And when
question?
it comes to really kind of finding your brand, like Nina, I'm kind of just echoing what Nina has said. Like it's really, it's what you're interested in. At the end of the day, all of you have unique talents, unique interests, unique things that really drive you and fill you with excitement and passion. And actually, some of the newer, one of our uplines, in his new training, he's specifically teaching, the idea of your avatar, your brand, very beginning. That's like, as part of like the first 2 weeks of a new coach, because this is so important. You cannot talk to everyone. So understand that you cannot talk to everyone, because then you will talk to no one. You have to be very specific. And so he gave me an example, which I thought was fabulous. He had a coach who couldn't figure out what he was interested in. And then finally it came out through a couple conversations that he is like fascinated with zombies and like preppers, like prepping for like the final day. And like literally my mentor, my coach was like, oh my God, that's a niche. Like that is a huge niche. You know how many people are preppers in the United States who think the world is going to end? And you know what? When the world is going to end, you need to be fit. So literally what he created, his whole page is based on like tips and geared towards the prepper. And guess what? He's hitting Success Club and he's helping people because he has found his niche. So don't think anything is stupid. Don't think anything is, nonsense. Realize that whatever your interests are, other people have those interests too. And so whatever you're genuinely on the inside really, really passionate about, make sure that you really think and then you have to think about it. Because at the end of the day, like Nina was saying, if you're not enjoying the process, if you're not enjoying looking up this information, I also like to think of, you're almost like a curator. A curator really, if looking at your page as a way to get information to your audience that they normally would not find. People are not always looking on blogs and looking at recipe sites or looking for information. So if you know a certain information that your audience would like, you bringing it to your profile and sharing that content from someone else's blog is a great way for you to curate that and bring it to the eyes of your audience. And so it's not that you have to come up with the top 10 things of XYZ. You can go seek that, and hopefully it's of genuine interest to you. Hopefully that's the key part. It has to be of genuine interest to you. Otherwise, you're not going to want to stick with it because it's going to seem like homework. It's going to seem like extra work. But if you're genuinely interested in it, because maybe you have PCOS, maybe you need to figure out more about, how I need to lose my weight. I need to do more research. Share that research. Maybe you have hormonal problems. Maybe you have, just anything that's going on that you're interested in. And so just kind of, and then Lisa says, you said not to say I'm starting a business. How would you just suggest introducing yourself to your audience so that they don't feel like they are being sold when you invite to a challenge group and they realize they're purchasing something?
So I really don't have right now the kind of like, I run into a hurdle where someone's like, oh, well, I have to buy something, because one of the things that I help people to understand is that I am in a business, but that's not necessarily what I do necessarily. Okay, so let me explain it to you. So for instance, when I'm talking about a challenge group, I'm speaking to my customer avatar. So I'm talking to their emotional triggers. I'm talking to their hot points. I'm talking to things that make them desire a change. So that's number one, okay? Number two, when I finally get them in a message, then I'm like, hey, what are you interested in? I'm going through the whole forming and asking them questions and things like that. So when it pertains to your like page, it's the same thing. You put the initial curiosity out there, but then when you're finally talking to someone, you're talking to them about what their goals are and things that they want to achieve. And so naturally you're going to talk about things that either you've done or, stuff that's available to them, or you're going to recommend something. So at that point, it's going to be very natural for you to say, well, I have, can I make a suggestion? I used XYZ, or I think this might be good for you. And so that's, at that point, you're talking about the product aspect of it. But if you're on your like page and you're just talking about general health and fitness, you know, you need to talk about Beachbody without saying Beachbody. You're not talking about 21 Day Fix. You're not talking about Masters Hammer and Chisel. You're talking and you're showing what you're doing. Like you're showing maybe you're drinking a shake, or you're showing all the ingredients. You're getting ready for something yummy you're making, right? You're creating the curiosity that allows people to ask you questions about what you're doing. And then you're not openly engaging with that on your page. You're bringing that into a private space, so then you can talk to somebody about their goals. So it's really important, especially for new coaches, like they start posting about stuff and they get questions and people are asking them openly, well, how much is it? Or what's this? Or what's that? It's important for you to take those conversations into a private area and just say, oh, I'm really excited about what you're doing. Let me message you. And so the same thing has to go with like asking people to like your page. If you're asking someone to like your page, you're saying, hey, I want the accountability. Can you help me out? I'd love to follow along with you. You know, how are you doing with your fitness journey? You know, maybe you can engage with me and tell me how you're doing on my like page. At that point, you're not really talking about product.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's also like how you promote yourself and what you're doing. Like one of our newer coaches on the team, Bridget, she made a really good post just talking about how she is going to start now training for the Chicago Marathon. And she's super excited and it's going to take a lot of effort. And she just said, you know, I'm looking to start a community to help me stay accountable. You know, let me know if you're interested. Mind you, she didn't mention anything about Beachbody. She didn't mention anything about, you know, the program that she's going to be doing and using for her marathon, but she still mentioned that she is going to be talking more about her, you know, her and her goals and what she's going to be doing. And she's asking for support and she's asking to create a community. So those are other ways to kind of, you know, mention that and talk about that. A lot of times too, it's inadvertently, you know, you're talking about maybe, you know, you had a bad day, but you're like, wow, you know, these girls in my group really kept me accountable. You know, just saying something like that really can intrigue people enough to kind of say, you know, what is this group that you're talking about? So when we're posting and using hashtags, is it okay or not okay to be hashtagging the program 21 Day Fix?
It really depends, because like all the content coming together is really going to determine whether or not you're going to do that. Would I do it with every post? Probably not.
No. Yeah, I don't do it with every post because then what you're going to happen is you're going to get a lot of Beachbody coaches, especially if you're growing on Instagram, you're going to get a lot of Beachbody coaches. And so not to say that it's that you should not do it, because there are also a lot of people out there who do not have a coach and do use that program. So I actually have it in my repertoire of hashtags, but it's in one of my blocks only, and it's not in the block that I use the most commonly. So it's clear by my team, a large part of my team, I target healthcare professionals. And so my target, you know, my hashtags are like hashtag fit nurse, hashtag medical student, hashtag resident life. So it's like it's the niche that I'm seeking, you know, and fit moms, hashtag fit moms, hashtag mom of boys, or, you know, I've seen a whole, and so it's like, or if you're a runner, hashtag runner. There's so many hashtags that are specifically for running without having to say hashtag 21 Day Fix, hashtag Shakeology, hashtag Beachbody Coach, because then you are going to get more, you know, more Beachbody coaches that are going to be liking your page, and not necessarily, you know, more people who are not associated with Beachbody.
Yeah, I mean, I rather talk about the draws to the program, like portioning,
Mm-hmm.
meal planning, things like that, rather than just 21 Day Fix.
Right.
But I will say that depending on, like, for instance, if it's a marketing post, then I will say the 21 Day Fix, but I'm not showing the logo. You know, I'm not really doing that. Like, I'm showing the lifestyle, but I'm not showing the specific Beachbody product branding. But in my ad copy or my post, I will say it. So people associate what I'm talking about. But, you know, you have to kind of, you know, work in between there. But think about it this way. Like, you're branding you. You're branding your niche. You're branding yourself. You're branding what's not in the box. When you get the box, you're not in there, right? They're getting the box, but they're also getting a part of you that's very different, and you have to make sure that you are selling that to people. So you have to start, make a list, use whatever you need to use to list all the benefits to each program so that you can start to talk about those things. And every program is different. Like, you're not going to talk about hammer and chisel the same way that you're talking about the 21-day fix. And when you start to differentiate how you talk about the programs, that's also going to give you more organic reach, because then you're not speaking like every other coach. And that's really important too. So hopefully that helps you guys. But please follow that schedule and follow the 10-4-1 and follow entertain, inform, market. I'm telling you right now, like, that has been night and day in just getting organized.
I think it just speaks to the idea of just being consistent. Setting yourself up to be successful so that you can be consistent. And having a schedule, like Nina is saying, and kind of following a very similar schedule based on your niche, so for me, my niche is very different than Become the Bride, and so my posts are going to be different, but it's basically 15 posts or 15 posts for every 15 posts. So if you're going to post more than that, if you're going to post 30 times a week, so then you can fix the ratio accordingly. But it's like, it's 10 posts from outside, from other people, from blogs or kind of videos that you find, 4 posts that are original to you, and then 1 post actually marketing. And so just kind of following, and obviously you can tailor, but that's a general rule, just to kind of keep you on track.
And it doesn't have to be in that order. Like, it could be like 10 and then the 1 and then 1 and the 4. Like, you can vary it up. It doesn't have to go exactly 10 posts and 4 posts and 1. You decide based on your analytics of your page. So this is where you have to start to look at your target audience, understanding your customer avatar. So this is high level marketing. So for somebody who's a new coach, it may seem overwhelming at first. It's very important that you sit down and take time to kind of organize this for yourself, because anyone can do it. You just have to set the time to really get organized. And go back and watch this video again if that helps you also.
Any other questions?
Speak now or forever post it on Facebook.
Blair?
Nita, I just wanted to say thank you for this, but I also recently saw one of the videos that you had done about I think it was either the 3-day refresh or the other one, and it was amazing. So I just wanted you to know.
Thank you. I think it was the Ultimate Reset I was talking about.
Yes, exactly.
That was a live post also. Do you guys use live? Do you go live on Facebook? There's so much anxiety about going live. You're like, what am I going to say? I'm going to wing it. But I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but it's fun. Yeah, I like it too. It's scary, but it's fun.
It is scary. I actually like it.
I do too, but you're like,
I like it. And trust me, your first time when you're just like, hi, I just want to see if anybody's like out there, and then people will start interacting with you, and it's actually a lot of fun. Yeah. And it's not as nerve-wracking as you think, because people genuinely start, kind of, it's like one of those fearful things. You just jump, you kind of jump into it, and you just kind of start chatting and start talking. Obviously, it's good to have an idea of what you want to talk about. But the first time I did it, I just wanted to see how the response would be, and what, how people would interact. And
do you do team lives? You got to do team lives where like you all jump in and interact with each other. That helps you guys with your engagement. So like, okay, who's going live tonight? And then you guys all jump in and like start, interacting. I mean, just saying, like, social media from a team perspective, if you guys start to really work together, you all can grow your pages very, very fast, because people see that. And don't worry about like, oh, my customers are going to see this coach and they're going to, no, don't worry about that. There's 300 million people in the United States. There's more than enough. Do you know how many active users are on Facebook? There's over 300 million, almost the entire country, in active monthly users, right, on Facebook. So what would 0.001% look like? You're talking about a good like 300,000, right? Or 30,000. Would that be enough to grow a Beachbody business if they were in your business? So there's more than enough to go around. You just gotta be consistent and just go after it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who would like 30,000 coaches in their business? Yes. That'd be good. Who would like
Look at Tony. Tony came on.
Who would like 300 coaches in their business? And that's even smaller.
Mm-hmm.
30 coaches in their business. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's definitely more than enough to go around. So help each other out from a team perspective. If you're new, you know, you guys can really help each other soar if you work together and conquer this thing and promote the Healthier You project as a movement, as a team. That's something that we do as a team. We promote Team Live Active as a collective. I know everybody wants their own teams, and that's fine. And you can definitely grow that as you start to get a following, but start to work together as a movement. And I think that'll help you guys win the day. I want to see you win the day. All right. So I have a challenge for you guys. Who's up for it? You guys up for it? Okay. So I want you to set a goal for likes. And in the month of April, I want you to message me, or maybe Stephanie can take a post collective. And I want you to pledge how many likes you're going to try to grow your like page by the end of the month. And it doesn't have to be through advertising. It can just be, you know, through organic engagement, through networking, through sharing, through working together. Set a challenge to grow your like page by a certain number by the end of the month, and then let me know if you hit that goal. Sounds good? Can you guys all do that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. All right, guys. Any more questions? Was this good? Thumbs up if it was good. Can I get 2? Can I get hands, arms, feet, all that? Awesome.
You're up. Yeah, Laura. So sweet. So sweet. Well, thank you, Nina, so much. I know that you had another call before this, and so I appreciate the back-to-back calls, and taking time from your family to educate us on this. You know, the thing, you know, it's any good websites to make an avatar logo.
Oh, there's I've been seeing this ads. I've been paying attention to a lot of ads. There's you might have to search on the graph search. Use a graph search. You guys use a graph search? You can search for anything. There's some apps or some like a Canva style that does logos now. I forgot what it's called, but I saw an ad for it. And like you just plug in things that you like and you just click on like pictures, and then it just makes a logo for you with text and everything.
But also don't feel like you absolutely need a logo at the moment either. I think understanding your avatar and then like waiting to see kind of what speaks to you, because I'll tell you this much, like when I first started, the team was called Everyday Strong. That was the name of Team Healthier You. And then I remember it was actually in talking with Nina that I had like a breakthrough of like, oh my God, I should call this team Healthier You. And it was like almost a year into, because it was like after I started running ads on Facebook as well, because I did the same thing Nina did, which is with working with Facebook in that monthly budget for a month. And so that is when I started doing ads, but it was in that time. So it took me, just kind of hashing it out, talking it out, thinking about it in terms of what I want.
It could be your name. It could be what you have right now. It depends on what your like page is named right now. You don't necessarily have to have something set in stone. I went through like 3 Become the Bride logos before I settled on my simple square one. But I highly recommend it if your page is your name, just to get something nice typography, something basic.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I see other coaches, like they'll just kind of, on Canva, Marinella, or like on PicMonkey, they'll just use the same kind of font to say, Yep. Like Marianella, kind of, and just kind of starting to brand. And honestly, that's where I'm kind of heading myself personally, of just branding me, as all of you should be doing in terms of building your business and thinking about branding you. Because like Nina says, she has vision that goes beyond goes beyond Beachbody. And so you want to make sure that you're also you're also dreaming big and kind of thinking, what would you do if you had, like I've always told you guys to kind of really think, what would you guys do if you had 100,000 people, every day listening to your every word? What would you want that message to be? What would you feel impassioned about? What would you really want to drive home to other people? And that's, and it takes time and it takes belief that you can make that type of impact. And so like just this, and like Tony is saying, like the analytics are so helpful, once you really start getting a Facebook page up and running and just understanding how to read it and start understanding what your market likes. And I'll be honest, and my cousin could be she's a good example. Like I remember when she started helping me and we didn't know what my audience liked. Like we would write, we would post a picture and we get like 20 likes. We post the same type of picture, got like 2 likes. And we're like, what in the world do these people like? And I'm still figuring that out. And even Nina's still, we're still trying. And you have to realize that our business, with the fact that we're network marketers, we're in, our business is very social media based. Everything is constantly changing. And so, just be open to that and be open to realizing that it's just their skills that you need. They're going to constantly be learning and constantly be changing. Now Instagram is changing now. And so, just kind of learning that. And now the new thing is Snapchat. And so there's all these things that are always kind of evolving. But the key thing is that if you know who you're talking to and your story, that's also very important, understanding your story. Those are the 2 things that are really important to help a coach be really successful in this business. Really understanding your story and understanding, who you want to speak to. And so if you've been speaking to everyone, then that's one place to really start hammering in on what can I do different? This week, today is really start thinking about who do I really want to be speaking to? And if you, and I'm always here, if I'm not your direct upline coach, your direct upline coach is there, but I'm always here to kind of hear what you have to say and kind of talk it out with you and kind of say, kind of really help you figure out who is that avatar for me. So that's really important. Awesome. All right, Nina. Well, guys, I will, so super Saturday this weekend. I hope some of you go. I know I will be there.
Come to Edison.
Yeah, go to New Jersey. Oh, my cousin's in Jersey. So.
Good.
All right, guys.
Good night, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Someone was calling my name.
Me.
Ah.